Well, this is the all-new 2025 Cannondale SuperX gravel bike, and in this episode I will give you the buyer's guide for this bike, and also I will make a comparison with the specialized Crux gravel bike, and also brief comparison with the Trek Checkpoint SL7 gravel bike. So hello everybody, and thank you for watching this Cycling Insider channel. And as I said in this episode, let me give you the buyer's guide for this latest, greatest Cannondale SuperX 2 gravel bike. The retail price of this bike is $6,800 hard-earned US dollars, and yes, it is absolutely, eye-watering price for this gravel bike. But let's dive into the specifications and really see what are you going to get for your hard-earned money. So as always, let's first answer the question, who is this bike for? So the general brief for this bike, SuperX, was that it should be the all-in racing gravel bike. And you should definitely think about it this way. So if you are really interested in, going as fast as possible on gravel, or even joining some competitions, then definitely, this type of the gravel bike is designed for you. You can clearly also see on this frame and the fork that they've incorporated some, aerodynamic tricks. So definitely both frame and the fork are aerodynamically optimized, because in today's gravel bike racing, of course, all of the other competitors are using some, tricks to minimize the drag and to go as fast as possible. When it comes to the paint schemes on this bike, there is only one paint scheme on offer. This is this very nice white paint scheme. They call it cashmere paint scheme. Nice name for a paint scheme. But again, in my opinion, at $6,800 US dollars, Cannondale should have offered at least one more paint scheme on this bike. Okay, now let's talk about the frame and the fork on this bike. So this is the Cannondale's carbon fiber SuperX frame, and also we have the carbon fiber matching fork. Of course, with Cannondale you are getting their lifetime warranty on the frame, and also some of the highlights of the frame is that it has a threaded bottom bracket. You have 12mm through axles both at the back and also at the front, and as I was mentioning, a bit more aerodynamically optimized frame, especially on the fork side and the front of the frame, and this classical dropped seat stays at the back, which will definitely contribute to, being more comfortable on the bike. Also for this iteration of the frame, of course, internal cable routing, and Cannondale is also claiming that they've incorporated some new magic into their, carbon fiber design, that this rear part of the frame is basically very good in absorbing different road bumps when you are riding, off-road on the gravel. So this is all nice and nice to hear, and I really hope it really works like that in real life. Okay, some of the smaller pieces on the bike, handlebar and the stem. This is a classical solution where both handlebar and the stem are separate pieces, which is excellent in my opinion. Nothing proprietary here. It is an aluminum handlebar and also aluminum stem, perfectly fine, because in this instance, in the future, it's going to be easy to replace it or even to upgrade any of these parts if you really want. Also, when you have these separate pieces for the handlebar and the stem, it's much easier to adjust your position on the bike. And this is definitely something that I always like to see on any type of the road bike. When it comes to the saddle and the seat post should be a bit of a kind of D-shaped carbon fiber seat post, and the saddle in this instance is, I'm guessing the saddle, is it the Selle Royale saddle, or they are still using, let me just double check for the saddle. It is the Pro Logo Dimension saddle. In my opinion, perfectly fine saddle. I have used some of the Pro Logo saddles, and if you don't like it, it's going to be easy to replace. Okay, moving on to the group set on this bike. So what are you getting? So this is the Shimano GRX 825 electronic group set. So this is the 12-speed electronic group set, so shifters, front mech and the rear mech, everything Shimano GRX 825. And what's nice here, the front chainrings, Shimano GRX double chainrings. I believe these are the 4830 chainrings at the front. Let me just double check in the specs of this bike. But I believe, 4831 chainrings at the front, and then at the back you have this beautiful huge range cassette, 1134 cassette. This is the classical Shimano Ultegra cassette. This is what I like to see, because ultimately you want this huge gear ratio at the back of 1134. The chain, classical 12-speed chain from Shimano. When you destroy it in the future, just use any 12-speed compatible Shimano chain. Are there any complaints here about the group set? Absolutely not. This Shimano GRX electronic group set works perfectly fine and is definitely going to serve you very well in the future. Also, when you look at the braking system on the bike, hydraulic disc brakes, Shimano GRX 825, both front and the back, and luckily braking rotors, both front and the back, are 160 millimeters, and they are using, in my opinion, superb CL800 braking rotors, so absolutely good heat dissipation and excellent stopping power. So there is no cutting corners in this department. Now let's talk about the wheels and the tires. So the wheel set on this bike is basically reserve wheels, reserve carbon fiber wheels, 40 millimeters rim height at the front and then 44 millimeter rim height at the back. And I will just mention that these reserve wheels on this bike come with the DT Swiss 370 hubs, which are very good hubs, but I'm not so sure why they didn't use the classical reserve GR wheel set, which comes with the DT Swiss 350 hubs. And if you will buy this wheel set on the open market, it will cost approximately $1,800. But why I'm saying this is that if they use the DT Swiss 350 hubs, in my opinion, of course it's better than the DT Swiss 370, because 350 hubs come with the Ratchet 36 system, while the 350 hubs, I believe, come with the Ratchet 18 system. So that's a bit more, let's call it a cheaper version of the 350 hub. And also this wheel set, it is the tubeless ready wheel set, and the total weight of the wheel set is probably going to be somewhere around 1,550 grams. I mean, don't get me wrong, Reserve makes some excellent carbon fiber wheels, and this is definitely, one of them. But just, I wish in this instance that they have used the classical Reserve GR wheel set as it is out of the box with DT Swiss 350 hubs, and didn't go for kind of a cheaper 370 version of the hubs. But I'm guessing this is some kind of the OEM deal with DT Swiss, so they had to probably put these 370 hubs on this wheel set. Also, I will mention here that, of course, since it's a 40 millimeters at the front and 44 millimeters at the back, it is one of those, aero wheel sets, gravel aero wheel sets, and the tires you are getting on this bike are the Vittoria Terreno tires, and these are the 40 millimeter tires, both front and the back. Luckily, this carbon fiber frame and the fork can accept up to 50 millimeter tires, both front and the back, which is absolutely excellent if you are really going on some rough gravel and you want to, lower the pressures. Then of course you will use a wider tire, and these 50 millimeter tires are just very popular now because of the huge air volume and definitely much smoother bike ride. Cannondale isn't claiming here any specific weight for this bike, but I'm guessing in some kind of size 56, this is probably going to be somewhere in the region of, I would say, 8.5, 8.7 kilograms bike. Okay, now we have to put this into perspective. So, Cannondale SuperX 2 with a retail price of $6,800. Does this even make sense? So let's have a look at the Specialized. So the big competition here is the Specialized Crux Expert bike, which usually has a retail price of $6,200, but now it is on a big discount from Specialized. You can even get it for $5,000, which is just, amazing price for this bike. And here, of course, we are speaking about the superb Specialized 10R carbon fiber frame. I think this fork is even the 12R carbon fiber fork. Of course, there is again a lifetime warranty on this carbon fiber frame. This 12mm through axles, internal cable routing, this is also a threaded bottom bracket. And the main difference kind of here is that the group set on this bike is the SRAM rival ETAP electronic group set, and it is a single chainring at the front configuration. And also the wheels on this bike will be the carbon fiber wheels from Roval, so the specialized own brand of wheels. And I believe that these rims are going to be 35mm height, front and the back, and the tires are from Specialized. I believe they are here using a 38mm tire. Let me just double check. These are the 38mm tires, Pathfinder Pro tires from Specialized. But the key point of this bike, of course, is that the weight is very, very low. So this is approximately 8.2, 8.3 kilograms bike in, again, some kind of size 56. So this Specialized Crux Expert, in my opinion, is always going to be much, much lighter than the Cannondale SuperX bike. And of course, with the retail price of, the full retail price of $6,200 or now $5,000, I mean, it's a very hard battle for that Cannondale SuperX to compete with this Specialized Crux Expert bike. I'm only thinking, if you really don't like the SRAM wireless group set on this bike or a single chainring at the front, then okay, you might argue that you should reconsider the SuperX too. Also, what's a problem for that Cannondale bike is, of course, the Trek bike. And in this price range, we are talking about the Trek Checkpoint SL7 Generation 3 bike. And this is also the Trek's, carbon fiber OCLV 500 carbon fiber frame, matching fork, lifetime warranty on the frame, and also Trek comes with this ISO speed decoupler at the back, their kind of proprietary solution where the seat post can move a bit independently of the top tube and the seat stays, so definitely is going to contribute to being a comfortable bike. And this bike also comes with the carbon fiber wheels from Bontrager Aulus carbon fiber wheels, 35mm rim height, of course, tubeless ready wheel set. And in this instance, the group set on the bike that they are using is the SRAM Force Axis group set with the single chainring at the front. So again, it fully wireless group set, superb group set, and if you like the SRAM group set, this is definitely going to work perfectly fine. So this bike retails at $5,700. So definitely, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that the weight of this bike in some kind of size medium large is going to be closer to 9 kilograms. So going from this, the Trek Checkpoint SL7, which will be approximately 9 kilograms, moving on to the Cannondale SuperX 2, which I'm guessing is somewhere around 8.5, 8.7 kilograms, and then coming all the way to the Specialized Crux Expert, which is going to be 8.3 kilograms, you see this progression of lighter and lighter bikes. So, in my opinion, this Cannondale SuperX 2 bike at $6,800, I just think it's too expensive. This bike should be priced accordingly, in my opinion, somewhere around $6,000. Then it can be a very nice competition to the Specialized Crux Expert bike, which is, now selling for $5,000, and it will also be a very nice competition to the Trek Checkpoint SL7 at $5,700. At $6,800, I just don't think that Cannondale can command such a high price for this bike, and in my opinion, I think they will struggle to sell this bike at this retail price. At approximately $6,000, much more attractive offering from Cannondale, because they can always claim, well, this is a proper, full-on racing bike, and also the weight of this bike, I don't believe is going to be lighter than the Specialized Crux Expert, which comes at about 8.3 kilograms. I'm almost sure that this is going to be heavier by at least 300 to 400 grams than that bike. So it's a very, very hard position for this bike to be in, and I just don't think they've priced it correctly at $6,800. It's a too high price for this Cannondale SuperX 2 bike. Also, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Is it too expensive considering the competition? Did they price it correctly? So let's hear your opinions. So this is gonna be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!